Bring it on, fanboys and fangirls.
Heard him. He asked for it.
What's in your eyes? No look of certainty, no look of apathy. What's in your eyes?
Why am I doing this? Well, folks, I am in fact a sinner, and in fact, in my humble opinion, if you're going to hate something, have some valid reasons for it. So let's get this over with.
Well, YouTube, I guess a lot of people want me to do this video, so here we go.
Insert obvious question joke here.
This is my review of one of the worst, and I mean worst, ideas I think Nickelodeon has ever come up with.
Simple and Chum Chum, Back to the Barnyard, iCarly, True Jackson P, The Troop. There are far worse shows than Invaders Zim. Why? Bad writing and bad humor. Need I go any further? But of course, one such as yourself will never grasp such a concept because, well, you're not a writer. And I'll get more into that later on.
It's worse. It's just plain overrated in my book.
Well, judging from our Skype chats, your definition of overrated is a series that is popular and has more fans than haters, which pretty much differs from my definition of overrated, which is basically a series that is hyped up to be like the best thing ever when it's really not, but its fans are so blind to actually see that. And of course you probably say that, well, it's basically the same thing, but not exactly, and I'll get into more detail on that later.
And it sucks balls, it sucks ass, it sucks whatever's on this guy's body that this woman would put in her mouth. I'm talking about Invader Zim. Oh my god, do I hate this show.
I can't wait to hear why.
So I'm not gonna bore you with lengthy details or a history lesson on the show.
Buddy, half the people who saw this and those who commented on it already know the show's history. So, it's pretty much unnecessary at this point.
I'm just gonna explain my opinions in a quick summary.
Yes, a quick summary in the incredible neck-breaking speed of 2 minutes and 30-some-odd seconds. Well, to be fair, for some people that can be seen as quick, so, let's move on.
You don't have to agree with them at all. Just remember, this is my video and my opinion.
Thanks for the surety, but that's not why I'm here. I'm basically here to set some records straight. Also, insert Transformers Fan Code 328 joke here.
Let's begin, shall we? Invader Zim is an edgy and dark comedy series that was on Nickelodeon around the time of '01, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. The show centers around an alien by the name of Zim. Big surprise.
No. Dude, you're a fan of Naruto, and I assume Inuyasha. You should know what a title character is.
There. Who was sent to Earth to conquer it so his leaders can sell the planet like real estate. Oh, wait, wasn't that why Goku was sent to Earth as a baby by the Saiyans? Because Frieza hired them the Saiyans to conquer planets for him for that exact same reason? Or we think so, at least.
Well, ladies and gents, I have no further to look than here. You see, for a while now, as I have implied earlier, I've been under the impression that in order to understand how writers of cartoons, comic books, novels, and movies operate, you have to be a writer. Mr. Punchdrunk 1, you seem to be unaware of how heavily anime has influenced American cartoonists, not just in art style, but in story elements and plot scenarios and devices. Jonan Vasquez is known to be a fan of Vampire Hunter D, Evangelion, Neon Genesis, and various other anime made by Gainax. Panty and Stalking Like God About anyone? But anyway, the Vampire Hunter Piggy scene in the episode Game Slave 2 is an homage to Vampire Hunter D, in the scene where Hamster Pee-Pee charges towards the giant and glowing hot dog, and Hamstergeddon is a reference to Evangelion. So with that said, there is a good chance that Vasquez was influenced by Goku's premise of being sent to Earth by a race of warrior space pirates. Ugh, I hate my life. Also, while we're on that subject, The Saiyans aren't the only warrior race ever put into fiction. Ever heard of the Klingons from Star Trek or the Wookiees from Star Wars? Also, who's this we you mentioned? Are you referring to you and your viewers?
The real reason his leaders send him there is because he's an idiot, and in fact his people never had any desire to conquer Earth whatsoever. They send him there just to get rid of him. On Earth he disguises himself as a human kid with his robot servant as a dog for some reason.
Subtlety. According to Hill's only child, the reason why Gur is disguised as a dog is because robots haven't been invented yet in the period the story is set, so if anyone saw Gur, they'd get suspicious. Huh. Now that Hill's only child did bring that up, Gur is the only robot character on Earth. I honestly didn't notice that until I thought about it just now.
In his ship disguised as a typical suburban home. However, because this is Nickelodeon and every innocent bystander is either an asshole or a complete retard.
Mr. Punch Drunk 1. Let me explain a little something to you. While the whole stupid human characters thing is a common trait in Nickelodeon cartoons, there is a bit of an exception to Mr. Vasquez's work, and let me explain why. John Vasquez is a misanthrope, much like yours truly. A misanthrope is a human who tends to have a bias towards other humans. As such, if we ever wind up writing a story, how we feel about people reflects in our work, i.e. stupid human characters. What Jonan Vasquez is saying in a satirical manner is humans are so stupid that we'd be conquered by a race of aliens who can successfully disguise themselves as humans and walk among us, or poorly disguise themselves as humans and still walk unseen by most human eyes.
The only people who know Zim's not a human are the neighbor kids Dib and Kaz.
Dib and Kaz? You mean Dib and Gaz.
Ooh, how I hate both of them.
Oh god, here it comes.
They're emo, and I'm not talking about the good type of emo where you have a reason to be and want to make things right type emo, like, let's say, Silver the Hedgehog. I'm talking about the good for nothing, I don't care, I'm gonna cut myself with a knife type emo.
Oh, wow. I have to explain this too? Okay, buddy. Dib is a paranormal investigator. He studies aliens, ghosts, and paranormal activities and creatures. In short, he's a nerd! Dib also is the characterization of Jonan Vasquez's outlook on humans, as he often wonders why he risks his neck for a race of beings who seems to want to be destroyed. Heck, this was pointed out in the episode Vindicated when he was discussing, or arguing rather, with a counselor. Gaz, on the other hand, is a gamer girl with a pizza addiction, and while she may be aware that Zim is an alien, courtesy of Dib, she really doesn't see him as a threat because, let's be honest, he's not. Also, on a side note, Silver is not an emo. An emo is an individual who pretty much has a negative outlook on life, as they constantly contemplate suicide, while thinking that there is truly no purpose to living. Silver, on the other hand, has a purpose to living, and as he wants to save his future home. And I mean, if emo, for the modern terminology, is a person who tends to be a bit whiny at times, then I guess Future Trunks is emo, but then again, knowing people such as yourself, he's probably exempt because he can transform into a planet-destroying Super Saiyan.
Moving on. I have got to tell you people, this series got worse as the series progressed. Worse.
To elaborate, like Hell's only child, I think it got better. Dib stopped overreacting to every defeat. Gaz got more involved in helping Dib, and there have been occasions where Zim and Dib have worked together to save the planet.
And worse. I mean, one episode a kid got head lice, and the only thing that could kill this super breed of lice was Zim's skin.
I'm not going to throw out the "it's a kid's show, oh it doesn't need to make any sense" excuse. In the episode of the wetting, it's displayed that Zim has an allergic reaction to water, such as it burning his skin like acid. One can assume that Zim's cellular structure is different from that of a human's and carries an acidic quality, so it makes sense for Zim's skin to act as an acid to kill the lice.
Again, in another episode, Zim grows this huge zit on his face, draws a face on it, gives it a puppet's body, and names it, get this, Pustulio. Honestly, what were the writers smoking up their ass when they came up with this shit?
Whatever it was, I'd like to get some. Plus, it sounds like you were knocking on their ability to be creative. Punch Drunk One, as an anime fan, I'm pretty sure you come across some weird things in anime, so it really shouldn't surprise you that, of course, American cartoonists would also come up with some weird, trippy crap. And it also sounds like you're knocking on their ability to be creative. In short, saying that what they create has to make sense to you and you alone, which, might add, is not a good thing to imply.